Another part of the youth engagement program, as you said, was this idea, sort of our phase 3 here in the spring, towards the end of the school year, was getting out there in the community in person, engaging as much as we could. So we've been traveling around with Legend the Bigfoot, the official mascot.
You couldn't have a global sporting event without a mascot,
No,
right, AJ?
no way.
Yeah.
That was
Absolutely
AJ's
not.
project, by the way.
Yeah, so we've been taking Legend to schools, summer camp groups, to sort of explore track and field activities, pop-up activity stations with kids, get out there, throw the turbo jab, do the long jump, that sort of thing. It's been a blast. We had an overlap with Oregon's Governor Brown up in Portland at Roosevelt High School earlier this month, and that was really special. For those student athletes. It was specifically with the track team. And again, just so special to see those kids be inspired by the opportunity to meet the governor, but also just to hear more firsthand from us about the World Athletics Championships. And many of those kids will also be attending our opening session, which is all sort of youth and community focused. And just seeing those eyes light up and say, oh wow, we really get to go to Worlds. That's so great. That's so awesome. So,
and you never know what sparks it for kids, right? We talk a lot about within the sport about, how do you grow the sport, and we kind of shake our fists at the ether. Wondering why not everyone in this country loves the sport of track and field as much as we do, but it really does start with, with kind of planting that seed in people young. And I remember I ran the 2006 Olympic Games. I was part of Coca-Cola's Olympic torch relay across the country. I don't even remember what grade I was in. Maybe like the 6th grade or something. But I still remember that, right? And even if I hadn't been a track and field athlete at that same point, I have a couple of high school pictures over. Christian hung some up over by my desk, so you can come by and you can see high school.
I'll come stop by.
Sasha, but no, seriously, just planting that seed and sparking that thing. It's not just from a participation standpoint, like our next stars are out there somewhere learning how to tie their shoes. But also from a fan standpoint, majority of people aren't going to participate in track and field, but they will be lifelong fans. And I think that this event really gives us an opportunity to plant a memorable flag in the culture and the psyche of this state as that next generation is coming up and trying to figure out what they're into.
And you never know what's going to spark that kid's interest, right? Is it Legend? I remember Legend came and taught me how to throw the shot put, right? Is it an athlete, right? Or is it learning about the culture and the geography of all potentially the athletes coming here and then seeing them in town, right? Or is it, I just like running and I just needed to be exposed, right? And there's just so many different ways to actually make that touch point.
Yeah, and we talk about Legend. We can't just gloss over Legend because Legend has been such a long time in the making. It's been a project. I mean, we went from mascot to no mascot to AJ working on the mascot. Yes. How did we end up with Legend the Bigfoot anyway?
I mean, you were there. It was quite a collaboration. I think we even started July when you were onboarded. I mean, it's been a group effort with all local stakeholders. We hired some companies and some designers to help us throw everything on the wall, right? I think we had... I
think we were down to the top 3 when I
Is that
started.
what it was?
I think that my kids and I helped narrow down the top 3.
I definitely asked everybody with children of any age, right? Hans, our medical director's kids are all high school age and above.
Yeah.
I said it with you. I said Eric's kids are a little bit younger than yours.
Yeah, we weighed in.
Does this scare anybody, right? We definitely can't.
That's a good gauge. You want to stay away from the creepy.
Yeah.
And then Legend's first public appearance was one of our youth engagement events. So everyone was sort of holding their breath to see, okay, are we going to get laughs or tears? What's going to happen here?
Exactly.
Pass the laugh test.
Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. But we had a lot of different ideas on the wall, right? And there's a lot of different mascots out there and trying to be unique, but of place and culture and uniquely Oregon, but then also have the ability to make direct ties to the physicality of the sport, you know?
I mean,
which I think we're going to do.
Yeah, a Bigfoot is a very Oregon thing.
Yes.
So I think you nailed it with that.
Well, it was a team effort, but thanks. I have to send thanks. I have to send gift baskets to your kids for your help.
Well, and I have my checklist of like all the things that I need to do. But you know what? Right alongside that, and I've made this mistake before because I've worked these global events and you spend years organizing them, right?
Yeah.
And then from somewhere a couple blocks away, you kind of hear the gun go off and you're like, oh, I wonder what race that is.
Yeah.
That sounds like thousands of people really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I'm like slaving away in a dorm somewhere.
Is there any that you're going to go see?
Well, so this is the thing. I have a timetable on my desk and I am circling things and like setting alerts in my calendars. Yes, for things that I want to be sure to be in the stadium.
I'm curious what yours are.
So this is the prime advice from a seasoned event expert.
Athlete and teams director, previous winner, previous championship runner. Who should we go see?
The thing is, if you don't do this, you just won't be in the stadium to see things. And then everyone else will be super excited for years and years, and you will have to admit that you actually never saw a race.
Oh yeah.
I
was
definitely do that
in the dorm.
Oh yeah, I was peeling tape
I
off
have
of
too many
field
stories
two.
to count. I have so many. I mean, I don't want to distract, but I have so many stories to count of like performance acts and athlete experiences that I've missed.
Things that you never saw.
That I'm embarrassed to even put on record.
Well, the crazy thing is, I could easily go down and like list the big time finals that'll be super exciting to see, but I can honestly say, and I'm not just being like precious about this because I work with athletes, when you've seen someone in the village and you kind of see him at the dining hall or you see him at the training facility warming up and we have this whole spectrum of athletes that are coming here, right? So you have the people who are your best bet, likely to be podium finishers. And then you have people who are here kind of in the spirit of Olympism and participation, who are not going to get out of their first round, who are not, more or less medal. They advance, it will be a big victory for themselves and their country. So I can tell you that there are big time races and I'm looking forward to those, potential world record breaking performances. The women's 400 hurdles is going to be bananas.
Yeah.
As a former 800 meter runner, but also someone who, coming off of the previous world championships where the U.S. was, finished 2 of the top 3 on the women's side. Super excited about that. But I also am looking forward to watching that person run who, I remember getting off the bus and being so sort of awestruck that they were actually here.
You had that direct you're going to have that direct interaction with them and welcome
taking
them.
Pictures and trading pins, and then to see them have their moment on Hayward Field in such an iconic place and such an iconic event. Those are the races that kind of stick with you, right? Like I could go to the record books and I can look up the results of the women's 100 final, but I'm not going to remember it in the same way as I am those ones where you do have a personal connection.
I hope to have a little bit of that experience just with some of these tiny countries that really have one athlete representing them, but through the Worldwide Welcome Relay, we've packed and repackaged so many boxes of flags and banners. My geography skills have improved greatly through this
I'm nervous
job.
to go to trivia with you afterwards, for sure.
So, I'm looking forward to following some of these countries that I had no idea they had a history of being strangely good at the javelin based on their per capita population of javelin throwers.
I'm sure in your brain, because you've seen all these videos of welcome, you're be like, oh, that school is going to be so excited at how well they did. For, their reaction to how well their country that they welcomed.
Exactly.
Is going to be how fun.
Yeah, that's the stuff that sticks with you.